Isekai.
The Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage. Chapter 69, In Captivity. Xin Miao, exactly. Su Mingfeng was somewhat surprised by Xi Jingxing's attitude. He suddenly remembered something, and mischievously laughed. Is she not the young lady that you saved during the academy examination? So to say, she has some courage, and was not too ugly. Wei Qian. This kid is living in plenty without appreciating it. He saw that Xi Jingxing was deep in thought, and could not help but be surprised. Hey, could it be that you fancy that young lady? Xi Jingxing sneered, and he swept a look at Su Mingfeng. You are very idle. Of course I am idle. Su Mingfeng frowned. I am now seriously ill, and cannot go to court, and resort to playing with cats and dogs in the residence. You also do not often appear, and is very close to that physician Gao Ying. Are you keeping some things from me? It was said that the friendship that one made when young was not shallow, but, as one grew up, Xi Jingxing became very mysterious. Although, he had reminded him on the matter of the Su family, towards Xi Jingxing, Su Mingfeng did not know anything at all. Xi Jingxing threw a fruit to him. Just eat it. He was not going to continue this conversation, and Su Mingfeng's eyes flashed, and a trace of a bitter smile showed on his lips, but he did not say anything. Not too long after the Shen family received the Wei family card, Ren Wanyun also let Xiang Lan invite Shen Gui over to Qian Yuan. After Shen Qing's matter, there was a rift between the relationship of Shen Gui and Ren Wanyun, and both of them did not talk at all. These days the relationship was as cold as ice. This time Ren Wanyun took the initiative to take the soft approach. Xiang Lan and Kaiju simultaneously entered to greet Shen Gui, and Ren Wanyun sat in front of the table with somewhat melancholic eyes. What is it with you this time? Shen Gui's tone was still very harsh. In the beginning, because of Shen Qing, Ren Wanyun scolded him ruthlessly, and it made Shen Gui extremely unpleased. Even though he admired Ren Wanyun for being able to handle all the things internally and externally well, he was not a broad-minded person, not to mention being pointed and scolded by a shrew. Master is here. Ren Wanyun looked at him in fatigue, and with a haggard face. She had always been smart and high-spirited, and would not ever have such a look. When Shen Gui saw this scene, his heart has softened a third. Knowing that Ren Wanyun loved Shen Qing, and had used a lot of energy in handling Shen Qing's matter, she was after all his first wife, and he had to give her face. So he scolded Xiang Lan and Kaiju. How did Furen become this haggard? How do you all take care of mistress? Ren Wanyun also heard Shen Gui's mild tone, and she was happy in her heart, so she caressed her head, and gave in. It was not because of them, but it was me who worried about King Thus, these few days the meals have no taste, and the nights are sleepless due to the extreme sadness in one's heart. Since King matter is out, it is useless to think more about it. It would be better to build up one's health, since the entire residence would still need you to manage. Shen Gui glanced at Ren Wanyun. Previously it was Ren Wanyun that manages the house, so naturally, he had many advantages. When the public fund was used as gifts, Ren Wanyun could make it as though there were no mistakes. Now that Ren Wanyun needed to take care of Shen Qing, Chen Rakayu temporarily had the power to manage the family, and thus things were not as convenient as before. Moreover, these advantages now belonged to the third household, which made Shen Gui unhappy. Ren Wanyun clenched her teeth. Shen Gui only thought about his official route, and did not care a little for Shen Qing. She said, I also think the same, but King health requires constant supervision, and I do not feel reassured. So it would be good to marry her into the Huang family." When Shen Gui brought the matter up, his mild tone started to harden. "A woman's view is short-sighted. It is the right thing to look for a good family to marry into. Now that King is like this, the Huang family is a big household with big business, and when King goes over she would be the main household. But, you insisted not." Ren Wanyan laughed grimly in her heart. Shen Gui as a father could be considered as truly cold and ruthless. Shen Gui even dared to use the words, "good family," to describe this Huang Dazin kind of person, even though she had long known that the person lying beside her was a person who viewed relationships lightly. Now thinking about it made Ren Wanyan have a somewhat chilling feeling, but now was not the time for her to be thinking about this. She wiped her eyes, and said, "Master said correctly. It was my thoughts that were strayed. It is I who stay in the backyard all day, and was not aware of these big issues, so the family that Master choose will be good." I initially was not willing for King to be carried over, but now find that this is not necessarily a bad thing for King Shen Gui was surprised for a moment first, and looked at her incredulous. "You agreed?" Ren Wanyan took Shen King as more important than anything else, so why would she agree to this marriage so easily? Moreover, Huang Dazin lusted over men. Yes. Sorrow started to emerge on Ren Wanyan's face. With King current condition, which good family would want her in the future? I kept thinking, and find that the Huang family is indeed not bad, at least when King is married over, she would not be short of food and clothes. If she does not live well, that is also her fate. After finishing, she pulled out her sleeve, and cried softly. Seeing Ren Wanyan like this, Shen Gui's heart was settled, and somewhat believed her words. Now Shen King was no longer an untouched virgin, and the Huang family only needed a daughter from a prestigious family to sit on the young Huang mistress position to blind the eyes of the world. When Shen King marries Huang Dazin, she would not need to fret over food or clothes for her entire life, and that is considered as the best tending, even though she would not be able to consummate. But, after such a thing happened to her, who would still want her? Thinking of this, Shen Gui sighed, and walked over to Ren Wanyan, and patted her back to console. "It is good that you have figured it out. King is after all my daughter, and I would not harm her. Huang Darin have some friends with me, and I will have him take care of King so when King marries over, she would not be wronged in any way." Ren Wanyan despised in her heart the high-sounding words that Shen Gui said, but, on the surface, she still put on a dependent look. Then would bother Master to speak to Huang Darin to let Huang family pass the birth time cards over so fast? Shen Gui was somewhat surprised. King is now at such a condition, how can it be dragged on? Ren Wanyan sighed. The more it is dragged on, one fears that others would find it out, since King had not been out for a long time. At least by marrying the Huang family, it can be somewhat covered. Moreover, Ren Wanyan stroked her chest. Long night of sleep would bring about many dreams. Ever since King accident, I am always in fear. Seeing her in palpitation, Shen Gui pondered for a while before saying, "What you said is reasonable. King matter cannot be dragged on, so I would write a letter to Huang Darin today to talk about this matter. When the birth time cards are exchanged, then it would be possible to discuss the day. Everything would be dependent on Master." Ren Wanyan warmly replied. Shen Gui said a few more sentences before leaving in satisfaction. Today Ren Wanyan was submissive, and admitted her wrongs, and did as he said. Thus it made his heart a lot more comfortable, so much that it swept away the haze for the past days. and even his steps had some kind of spring to it. After Shen Gui left Qian Yuan, Xiang Lan closed the doors before speaking disquietly. "Furen, is it really good to hide this matter from Master?" Ren Wan Yun let Shen Gui think that Shen King was willing to marry Huang Dazin, but did not tell him that she planned to swap the marriages of Shen King and Shen Miao. As such, Shen King would be married to the truly good Wei Qian, and Shen Miao would be married to that excessively licentious Huang Dazin. Naturally, Shen Gui could not know of this matter. No matter what the outcome was, with Shen Gui kind of person, once the matter involved his career, he would take a risk out of desperation. But Ren Wan Yun was unable to let her daughter step into the pit of fire. Of course there is a need to hide it from him. He has no conscience, and wants to use my King to build his future. He will need to ask if I am willing or not. Ren Wan Yun sneered. Her husband's cold indifference, and her daughter's accident had already made her look so much haggard in such a short period, and wrinkles had appeared overnight. The previously kind and friendly face was now gone. Would it be disadvantageous towards second young lady? Kaiju asked. Even if the marriage was successful, how would the Huang and Wei families be willing? No worries. Ren Wan Yun pinched the paperweight in her hands. The Huang family only want a title. It is the same no matter who is it. As for the Wei family, if they dare to speak out, I would sue them for violating the innocence of a lady. There would always be a way to render them speechless. Moreover, her face instantly became ferocious. In what way is my King lacking? Is it possible that she cannot be compared to that little slut, Shen Miao? Changing her for my King is Wei family's blessing. When it came to Shen Miao, Ren Wan Yun was filled with so much hate that her entire body was trembling. Thus Xiang Lan and Kaiju could only bow their heads silently, and dare not speak again. After a while, Ren Wan Yun's voice sounded, "But, now the most important thing is to settle the two marriages as soon as possible. It must be settled before eldest brother and eldest Sao return to the capital. Eldest master would only return when the year ends, and there are still months." Xiang Lan took a step forward, and reminded, "On the contrary, the problem is that fifth young lady's impertinent temperament. If she knew that her engagement is set, one is afraid that she would make a few rounds of ruckus, and may even escape from Shen's residence in the middle of the night. At that time, what can be done? Escape?" Ren Wan Yun ferociously said, "It also has to depend. If she had that ability, isn't she now being confined in the ancestral hall? From today onwards, lock up that ancestral hall." It was actually to lock up Shen Miao. Xiang Lan and Kaiju were surprised, and they both lowered their head. Previously, even though they constantly oppressed Shen Miao in the Shen residence, it would be done in a way that it would not be seen on the surface, as a thin current can flow a long way. This was the first time such methods were used on Shen Miao, and it seemed that there was a complete lack of apprehension as all pretense of cordiality was shed. That little slut has so many tricks up her sleeves, and can only be locked up. Once the time comes, a cup of wine is enough to send her up the sedan where cries to heavens would not be responded to, and cries to earth would be impervious. The Huang family is not easy to deal with, so after a few days of discipline, see if her tune would change. Ren Wan Yun did not even bother to cover her vicious words. If it cannot be done, there is still Prince Yu of the first rank. She laughed proudly. The winter got colder and colder, and there was frequent news from the northwest desert. Shinzin had made contributions by leading the army and pushing back the enemies. With his brave fighting, the enemies on the battlefield became frightened. When they heard of him, the people in the capital guessed that when Shinzin returns at the end of the year to the capital, Shenzhen would have numerous meritorious services. The Shen family's glories made others jealous, but, because they were all gained by real swords and spears, thus they refrained from speaking. And now, that the Zhong knew that have not retreated yet, the neighboring countries were eyeing covetously like a tiger watching his prey. The imperial family of Mingqi naturally heavily utilized the Shen family, but, in the future, that may not be clear. Boiling the hound, once the rabbit was caught, had been the favorite thing to do by the imperial family. After all, a change of sovereign would bring about a change of ministers, especially now that there were 9 princes in Mingqi's imperial family, and one cannot underestimate the surging undercurrents. If one were to speak about the recent exciting news in the Ding capital, it would be that the Shen family was interested in marriage. But, this matter was spread very mysteriously, and it was only known that 2 families went up to propose. One was the Vice Minister of the Legislative Bureau's Wei family, and the other was the supervisor of the Ministry of Steward. Both were high-ranking families, and both young masters were considered to be young talents, and indeed compatible with the Shen family. Shen Yu continued to head to Guangwentang for classes, so everyone guessed that the ones that were going to get married were the daughter of the first household, Shen Miao, and the daughter of the second household, Shen King, of the Shen family. No need to mention Shen King, but Shen Miao's identity was a little tricky. In the current circle of military officials, the only one that was comparable was the Marquis of Linen. However, the Marquis of Linen was a smart person, and other than the imperial command to lead the army out, he would often stay in the capital. Shenzhen was the one who was stationed at the border all year round. With a father like Shenzhen who was holding that kind of military power, no matter who Shen Miao married to, the husband's family would get a boost in power. The eyes of the imperial family in Mingqi were watching. It was good that these 2 families that proposed were of the literary official route, and that they often criticized military officials. After all, the Wei and Huang families' names were nice to hear, but, in the doctrine of the mean, there was no opportunity for them to stir up the muddy water of the fight for the heir apparent. So this marriage, as compared to the uproar of Shen Miao's love of Prince Ting, was much smoother. In Guangwentang, Yi Peilan asked Shen Yu, "Your elder and younger sisters are going to marry?" To go so far as to not to come to Guangwentang anymore. After Wolong Temple, Shen Miao and Shen King did not step out of the residence, much less Guangwentang. Shen Miao was confined, and Shen King because of her health. Shen Yu smiled. "I also do not know. Mother is doing it mysteriously, so I guess it is so. But, speaking of which, your eldest and younger sisters are considered lucky." Zhang Zhejuan thought for a while, especially Shen Miao. That gentleman Wei and gentleman Huang are considered as good no matter which one is matched up. How come this did not fall onto your lap? Shen Yu feigned anger. "I still want to stay in the residence for a few more years, and do not think about marriage." But there was a knot in her heart. Indeed, when one reaches a certain age, one would start to be concerned about their marriage. But, in the Shen residence, Shen Miao was 2 years younger than her, but she was now engaged, while Shen Yu was left there behind. Never mind about Shen King, since she was one whose body was no longer good, but after knowing that Shen Miao was able to find a good family, Shen Yu's heart had unspeakable jealousy. It was most probably because she could not see Shen Miao doing better, especially since Shen Miao was not as good as her in all areas. But now, there was someone like the Wei family who took the initiative to propose marriage. This meant that Shen Miao was recognized as a good female. If it was not for Chen Rikayu that soothed her, Shen Yu would have continued to drill with this horn, and not come out of it. "You are Beiwei pointed with her forehead. With such a good age now, one must plan for oneself. How about? She moved her chin to point at the other side. How do you find him? The direction she was mentioning was towards Kailin. When Shen Yu's bright eyes looked over, Kailin felt Shen Yu's gaze, and turned around as he was stunned for a moment, and was uncomfortable when he went to hide. Shen Yu's eyes turned red in a moment as she bit her lower lip down. The youth that admired her wholeheartedly was now avoiding her like snakes and scorpions. For a proud person like Shen Yu, naturally, she felt great shame. When Kailin avoided Shen Yu's accusing eyes, there was some anxiousness in his heart. After being taught a lesson by Shen Miao in the academy examinations, that whenever he saw Shen Miao again, he would feel an unknown fear. It was as if there was an inborn foreboding fear that made him hid from Shen Miao. Moreover, that day, Zi Jingxing also seemed to help Shen Miao get out of the sticky situation. Kailin was considered a tyrant in Ding's capital, but he would not dare to cross Zi Jingxing so naturally. He would not actively go against him. It does not matter if Zi Jingxing's rescue was intentional or not, Kailin would no longer dare to actively provoke Shen Miao. And after that day, Shen Yu did not even look at him from the beginning to the end, which made this youth's hot blazing heart completely cooled down. Seeing Shen Yu's embarrassment, Yi Peilan's lip curled, and she changed the subject with a smile. But, in another half a month, it would be your family's old Furen's birthday celebration. It would seem that I should go and pick some presents. Old Shen Furen's birthday was always done very impressively and grand every year. This kind of extravagance almost exceeded the imperial family. Old Shen Furen was short-sighted as she felt that the bigger the birthday celebration was, the better her face was. A lot of official families would be invited every year, and Shen Gui and Shen Wen were naturally happy with it, as this would allow them to better the relationship with their colleagues. In this kind of birthday celebration, gifts naturally would be received. Thinking about the birthday feast in another half a month, Yi Peilan and the rest of them would be present, since all officials with a better rank would all be invited by the Shen family. Yes. Beiwei seemed to remember it. I almost forgot about this thing. Many thanks to Peilan for reminding me. What did you prepare as a gift for old Shen Furen? As Shen Yu was a talented female in the capital, naturally she would give old Shen Furen face in the yearly birthday celebration. If one were to say that Shen King's gift was expensive and valuable, then Shen Yu's gift would be delicate and unique. Only Shen Miao's gift would make one laugh till their teeth fall off. It is only an embroidered portrait, Shen Yu modestly said. I started to be curious when you all say so. Zhang Zhejuan said nastily. What will that your fifth younger sister gift? Could it be that she was busy embroidering her wedding dress, and forget cleaning about old Furen longevity gift? Feng Ning, who was laying on the table by the side, coldly snorted before getting up, and left the table. Yi Peilan's words also fell onto the ears of Peiling, who was clearing up on the stage. These days he naturally heard the news of Shen Miao getting married, and felt a strange feeling. That young female's eyes was like a beast. Would she conceal herself in the inner courtyard so early? At the same time when everyone was talking about Shen Miao, she was however in the ancestral hall lining up the chess pieces. The wind in the ancestral hall was cold and chilling, and since grey slabs of stones were spread out on the floor, this made one feel the chill entering the bones when one was kneeling. Jing Zi and Gu Yu brought over some soft mats, but those soft mats were not of use. Shen Miao instructed them to boil some herbs, and to place them at the various corners of the room before smoking them so that the cold would not cause an illness to take root. Jings and Guyu initially did not believe it, but, afterward, when they saw how effective the medicinal coup was, they asked how did Shen Miao come to know about this secret medication. Shen Miao only said that she heard from others, but she knew that she had learned about it during the few years she was a hostage in Qian country. Those days were too cold, and there was not enough money, so she could only find the cheapest medical recipe to get rid of the humidity in one's body. These little things in the ancestral hall were nothing in comparison. Young lady is still playing chess. Jing stomped her feet. The chess pieces that Shen Miao was facing were lined up, and all the pieces, that were in a picturesque disorder, were now rearranged by her, so that black was with black pieces, and white were with white pieces, making one unable to see any representation. Chun Tao had already passed the words through Mo King. Jing saw Shen Miao being silent, and continued speaking. Second Furen wants to exchange the marriage with eldest young lady, and that young Huang master, who is a cut sleeve. What can be done? How does young lady still have the mood to continue to play chess? Initially, they thought that the Wei family was a good marriage, but Shen Miao rejected old Shen Furen's proposal in Rongjing Tang, and was locked in the ancestral hall. But even so, Chun Tao was able to inquire that the Shen family already went behind Shen Miao's back, and accepted this marriage proposal, but only the people of the western courtyard did not know about it. This was saying that other than Shen Miao, everyone else knew that she will be marrying off. If she was married to Wei Qian, then so be it, since he was regarded as someone who was decent and upright, but that Huang Dazin is a cut sleeve. Would not it be letting Shen Miao become a living widow, if she was married over to him? The few maids that heard it almost went crazy. Mo King also said that if Shen Miao was willing, he could escape with Shen Miao. Mo King used to be a person from the pugilistic world, and naturally did not understand that escaping was easy, but, once escaped, it would be meant that others would be able to fabricate what had happened after the escape, and no one would know about the truth. Moreover, Shen Miao had never thought of escaping, so she immediately refused it. If not, at least let Mo King pass a message to Master from young lady. This matter is also hidden from Master, since they want to get young lady married before Master return to the capital. Once grains become cooked rice, nothing can be changed anymore. Guyu also urged. They know that the current Shen Miao has a mind of her own, but she did not say anything, making the few maids feel anxious for Shen Miao. What message to pass? Shen Miao said lightly, currently, Renwan Yun's people are guarding outside the western courtyard, and even a fly would not be able to fly out. If I were to escape, then what about the rest of the people in the courtyard? Even though I am not a benevolent person, but there are some people that father and mother especially left for me. Do you believe that if I leave, Renwan Yun would not immediately kill everyone in the courtyard, to prevent the secret from divulging? Jings and Guyu were startled. Moreover, do you think it would be so simple as to just pass a message? There are always people guarding all day long, and they intend to keep me locked up. Do you think they would allow me to escape? Then you all have sorely underestimated my second Shen already. Shen Miao seemed not to fear Renwan Yun's brain, but, in this world, a mother's strength would increase. For the sake of Shen King's happiness, Renwan Yun would naturally complete the matter with her life. In this, Renwan Yun's bet was not small, and it seemed that regarding the exchange of the marriages, this was not discussed with Shen Gui, and was her idea. If it was successful, naturally it would be joyous, But, if it failed, then most likely Ren Wanyun would not have any more room to stand in the second household. But, young lady, we just leave it as it is? Jings anxiously said, this servant will fight with this life, and would not let young lady marry that cut sleeve. Can you all see this chess game? Shen Miao did not speak much, and just pointed to the chessboard on the table. On the chessboard, the white and black pieces were arranged into 2 rows that were so entirely different that it looked somewhat strange. This servant does not know chess, and is unable to see what kind of move this is. After a long while, Gu Yu carefully answered. What did you see? Shen Miao asked. Jings courageously answered, the white and blacks were all lined up clearly. Yes. A glimmer of light flashed in Shen Miao's eyes. In this chess, all the pieces are all out. You know my pieces, and I also know your pieces, so the final winner would be based on ability. Jings and Gu Yu looked at one another, and did not understand Shen Miao's words. Ren Wanyun thought that she knew all the chess pieces I have, but that is not the case. She took out a black chess piece from behind, and placed it beside the white chess pieces. I still have one last move to make. Old Shen Furen's birthday is next month? She suddenly asked. Yes, it is. Jings answered, heard that Chun Tao asked, and now we know that second Furen intends to announce young lady's marriage during old Furen's birthday celebration. All to do this before father comes back to the capital. Shen Miao smiled gently. Yes, there are still a few more months before the year ends. It seems that is too late. Gu Yu was worried. Is it? When Shenzhen withdraws the troops from the front, and return to the capital, it should be around the end of the year. Unfortunately, in the 68th year of Ming Qi, because Shenzhen pushed back the enemies in the northwest region, and the enemy fled, he was able to come back early to submit the surrender letter. The Shen army brought the surrender letter, and returned to the Ding capital a few months early. Coincidentally enough, or it could be that it was for Shenzhen to express filial piety, since usually when old Shen Furen's birthday comes around, Shenzhen would not be in the Ding capital. As this had happened numerous times, others said that Shenzhen was not filial. Thus on old Shen Furen's 70th birthday in the 68th year of Ming Qi, Shenzhen came back to the capital in advance. That day, Shenzhen suddenly returned home, and old Shen Furen was entertaining guests for the celebration in the residence, and Shen Miao did not attend. Why? It was naturally because she was hiding in the residence of Prince Ding. Shenzhen initially wanted to return to enjoy family bliss, but came to know that his daughter did not regard any etiquette at all. He headed towards Prince Ding's residence to get her, but, because of Fu Ziyuyi's hypocritical warmth, she turned a deaf ear to Shenzhen's words, and threatened to die to forcefully marry Prince Ding. Now to think about it, it was an enmity leading to sin. Shenzhen returned in a rush, and was travel-worn, but he saw such an unfilial daughter who leads the Shen family into the abyss with no chances of turning back. This lifetime was not that past life. She did not run away from the Shen family because of Prince Yu, and was also no longer blindly obsessed with Fu Ziyuyi's fake image. If Shenzhen returned, he would see a different daughter. Would she be able to slightly redeem some of the sins from her past lifetime? Father is all the while very respectful towards the old Furen. Shen Miao lightly said, yes. Jingzi answered. Old Shen Furen came from being a songstress, and she was an expert actress, so she was able to act flawlessly as a caring mother when old General Shen was alive, and so he was unable to pick any wrong out. Warriors emphasized relationships, and Shenzhen knew to repay a kind act with gratitude, So since he received old Shen Furen favor in the early years, he did not even think that under this old woman's skin laid a vicious heart. This time second Shen made it convenient for me. Xin Miao said with a smile, and her eyes brightened so much that it shocked others. Just nice, tear it all apart in front of the entire world to see.